Today I want to do a follow-up to my last vlog on the Four Horsemen. And I know what you're thinking. You could listen to that vlog and hear about the Four Horsemen, which is criticism and contempt, stonewalling, and defensiveness. And you, in the middle of your recovery, can say, oh God, we have all four of them, we are doomed. Or you can say, contempt is off the chart, Samuel. There's no hope for us. And I got to tell you, that's just not the case. Here's the Great Equalizer to the Four Horsemen. In fact, John Gottman, who developed the Four Horsemen, Rick talks about the Four Horsemen in some of our courses and even at the EMS weekend. He says the Great Equalizer. So even if you have the Four Horsemen and they're running rampant in your marriage right now, and if you can't get away or escape them, number one, it's okay, but number two, here is what Gottman says is the greatest predictor of a long-lasting marriage, which is able to diffuse the Four Horsemen, conquer them, and actually stay married for, let's call it, 40, 50, 60 years. And that's the ability to make a repair attempt. If you can make a repair attempt, Gottman says that for marriages or spouses who have gotten really good at repair attempts, they can diffuse the Four Horsemen and they can experience the greatest amount of joy, reconciliation, and restoration in their marriage. So I have to ask you, what is a good repair attempt for you? How does it look for you? How does it look for your spouse? If you're the unfaithful right now, pretty safe to say you are going to have to be very good at repair attempts, because everything that you do on a negative is going to tap into the Four Horsemen in one way or another. In fact, it's pretty safe to say that anything that you say could be interpreted through you being critical or defensive or stonewalling or being full of contempt toward your spouse. In essence, if you can make a good repair attempt, the data would suggest that you're going to be okay. So here's some of the ways that you can make a very good repair attempt or a reconnection attempt or a reconciliatory attempt at bringing you back together. Because remember, if there's disconnection, man, you're doomed. If you're living in two different worlds, if you're just roommates, you're doomed. So here's some of the ways that you can make a great repair attempt. I've taken these from a lot of different places, most of all John Gottman. Number one is it's going to take an incredible amount of humility. And that's just the truth. If you struggle with arrogance and pride and saying you're sorry, or having a difficulty inherently with saying you were wrong, you're going to have trouble. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to work hard to learn how to reconnect. So you're going to have to really work on bringing a heart of humility to the situation if you're going to make a repair attempt that actually does repair the situation or the offense. Number two is you have to ask yourself, what's the win? Is it to win the argument, or is it to win the marriage? Is it to win the heart of your spouse, or is it to seem like you are this precision scalpel of an arguer like I used to be to win the argument and make your spouse feel like an idiot for how stupid they are and for what they're believing? Number three is it takes a great sense of awareness to make a good repair attempt. What I mean is, you're going to have to be aware of how violated or upset or angry or offended your spouse is. If you come in with a cavalier sense of, I'm sorry, that was wrong, so move on, get over it, it doesn't work. Or, hey, I'm sorry, but if you would have, dude, get ready. That's not a good repair attempt. You're rushing them to heal, you're being arrogant, you're not having an awareness for how heavily your choices, your statements, your whatever have affected them. It won't bring repair. It'll in fact bring more offense. Number four is it has to be the fact that both of you understand that there's going to be seasons where you both are going to have to mutually repair. Now, I will tell you, early on, Samantha was horrible at this. For some reason, growing up and some childhood issues, she just was not good at saying, I'm sorry. I was very good and still am. And all of you just said, yeah, you better be good. After all I've done, yes. I am very good at saying I'm sorry, but I've learned to also say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I've said a number of things. I was stupid, I was arrogant, I didn't see it that way, it's on me, I was wrong. But you have to understand that there will come a time, and Samantha has gotten now really, really good at being able to own it and actually make a repair attempt of her own. From the first 10 years of marriage, it was probably 75, 85% me. During the initial stages of recovery after the exposure of infidelity, it was about 90%, maybe 95%. 98%. Now, it's about 60-40, 60% me, but 40% her. So we've learned how to repair. You're going to have to learn how to repair if you want to get through this. There's going to be moments where trying to make a repair attempt is actually going to blow up in your face, and it did to me all the time. I would go to Samantha and say, look, I'm sorry. And she'd say, I'm not ready to talk right now. I don't want to hear it. And secretly, I would reach for a gun to first blow my head off and then hers. And then I would say, and then here we go. I would say, so now I'm trying to apologize, and now I'm trying to make it right, and now I'm trying to be the bigger man, and you're giving me the finger, and blah, blah, blah. And all I was doing in that moment, listen to me real good, unfaithful. All I was doing in that moment was deepening the wound, turning the knife, making it worse. Don't do that. If you're anything like Samantha as a betrayed spouse, you're going to need some time to diffuse, to digest, to take some deep breaths, to self-soothe, to calm yourself, to be able to receive the repair attempt and then possibly make a repair attempt of your own. So timing is vital to a repair attempt. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that it gives you a picture of how to make a good repair attempt. Because if you don't know how to repair, I'm sorry, you're probably going to get trampled by the four horsemen. But if you learn how to repair, you can get on those horses and you can ride into recovery and experience an incredible amount of momentum and an incredible amount of healing despite the carnage that you're having to ride these horses through.